When we think of World War II, we often picture epic battles, strategic operations, and, well, incredible acts of bravery. But, behind the front lines, soldiers relied on survival knowledge so potent that their commanders often forbade sharing it. These weren't just simple tips. They were life-saving techniques developed through hard-won experience. Today, we're diving into 9 World War II survival tricks so powerful, soldiers were ordered to keep them secret. Subscribe and comment if you're as fascinated by these secrets as we are at After the Sirens. Soldiers in World War II had to survive extreme environments, from frozen Russian winters to the jungles of Southeast Asia. One of the most crucial survival strategies involved food rationing and improvisation. Troops often had to make a single can of beans last for multiple meals. Soldiers discovered that adding crushed leaves from local plants or scavenged herbs could extend food supplies while providing essential vitamins. This knowledge was often withheld from new recruits to prevent misuse and spoilage. For modern survivalists, this technique translates into understanding local flora and integrating it into emergency rations, ensuring nutrition even in adverse conditions. Another survival trick was mastering camouflage and concealment. Soldiers learned to use mud, foliage, and even battlefield debris to blend into their surroundings. In Europe, some soldiers would collect bark from trees and mix it with charcoal to create a paste, which could be applied to faces and exposed hands, offering near-perfect concealment during reconnaissance missions. Applied today, this teaches survivalists the importance of environmental adaptation, not just for hiding, but for reducing detection in dangerous or wildlife-heavy areas. Water procurement and purification was a skill many took to life-or-death levels. Soldiers were instructed in techniques such as boiling, filtration with cloth, or even improvising charcoal filters from burned wood. In areas where boiling wasn't possible, some troops learned that certain plant roots could purify water naturally. For civilians or survivalists, replicating these methods ensures access to potable water without reliance on bottled sources or chemical treatments. Medical improvisation was, another critical skill. During the Second World War, soldiers often had to treat wounds with minimal resources at hand. Knowledge of makeshift tourniquets, splints, and antiseptics could honestly mean the difference between life and amputation. In the jungles of the Pacific, soldiers sometimes even used coconut oil as an antiseptic and bandage dressing. Learning these applications today allows modern survivalists to build a first aid mindset, preparing them for remote or extreme conditions where traditional medical support is, just unavailable. The use of noise discipline and silent signalling was, in fact, another secret weapon. Troops developed ways to communicate without radios. Hand signals, shadow patterns, and even tapping codes on surfaces. These techniques prevented enemy interception and maintained operational secrecy. Applied today, understanding these strategies helps anyone operating in high-risk or sensitive environments to communicate silently and, effectively. Thermal survival was absolutely critical in cold climates. Soviet and Eastern Front soldiers would stuff clothes with straw or paper to insulate against freezing temperatures. They learned to create heat traps using minimal fire sources like reflective metal sheets or snow-covered holes to conserve energy and warmth. Modern survivalists can apply these lessons for winter camping or extreme weather situations, maximizing insulation without, well, heavy equipment. Field navigation was, another life-or-death skill. Soldiers were trained to read terrain, use stars, and rely on improvised compasses. One trick involved magnetizing a needle on silk or hair and floating it on water to find north. Today, this teaches historical techniques that remain relevant for anyone lost in remote terrain without GPS. Psychological survival was, often overlooked, but troops actually developed mental resilience strategies that were closely guarded. Soldiers were taught routines, mental imagery, and visualization techniques to maintain focus and, stave off panic in combat or captivity. Modern survivalists can learn from this, practicing mental discipline for stressful or extended survival scenarios. Finally, scavenging and repurposing enemy supplies was a skill that, honestly, many units kept secret. Soldiers often had to dismantle and adapt enemy equipment, using captured tools, rations or weapons to survive. Today, understanding resourcefulness in this context can, I think, inspire practical skills such as using available materials efficiently in emergency situations. These 9 survival tricks showcase not only ingenuity, but also the sheer willpower and adaptability of World War II soldiers. Each technique had real consequences and was often kept secret for operational security or to prevent misuse. Studying them provides a rare window into the daily life and death decisions faced by soldiers and offers lessons for anyone interested in survival, history, or self-reliance. If you found this guide insightful, do subscribe to After the Sirens for more deep dives into World War II tactics, survival strategies, and historical secrets. Comment below which of these tricks you find most fascinating or could see yourself using today. Share this with fellow history enthusiasts and survivalists so that these lessons are preserved and appreciated by all who value history's most practical secrets. Secret soldier tricks. They didn't want you to know this.